Greetings. Today we're going to start on topic 1, lesson 2, which is adding and subtracting multi-digit numbers with decimals. So let's get started. Let's look at our first example. We have 7 and 67 thousandths plus 25 and 42 hundredths. So take a second or two and think about how would you set this up to actually do this on a piece of paper. All right, so if you said something about those decimals that are important, then you are correct. We want to do this so that the decimals line up. And it doesn't really matter what number you put on top. A lot of people like to put the bigger number on top, which is the 25. But what's important is that we line up the decimals so that our place values are lined up. So you'll see here that we've got the ones place before the decimal on both the top number and the bottom number. Same, here are the tenths. These are the hundredths. And then we know that the sign says to add. A lot of times when I'm doing this, I like to go ahead and just do this placeholder and put it in place. Just makes it easier for me when I add, and then I just go by the lines. So 0 plus 7 is 7. Those are the thousandth spot. 6 plus 2 is 8. 4 plus 0 is 4. And then there's my decimal. I'm going to line it up. I know it's kind of messy, but there's my decimal. Then 7 plus 5, we're going to end up being 12. So we'll put a 2 here in the ones place and carry the 1. And 1 plus 2 is 3. And that makes sense. If we look here, we have 25 and we're adding about 7 more. And that we would get about 32. Let's look at our next example. Maybe my decimals will be a little smaller. Same thing, we want to line up our place values so that they're the same. Doesn't matter which number goes on top since we're still adding. I noticed the plus sign right there. So I'm going to go ahead and let's line these up. I'm going to put the 5 and 75 hundredths on top. Again, does not matter. Either way works. And 6, 3, 7. So again, notice that we've lined up our place values. So I tend to be a little bit messy. So one of the things I like to do is to put that 0 in, again, just to hold that place. We are adding, and then we just start each column. So 0 plus 7 is 7. 5 plus 3 is 8. 7 plus 6, we have 12 plus 1 more is 13. Okay, there's my decimal. Carry the 1 for the 13. And then 5 plus 1 is 6. A lot of times I like to go back to my original problem, see is it close? This is a little less than 6 and we're adding a little more. So this answer makes sense to me. If I needed to, I could check it. And we can now, that's how we add decimals. Again, we want to make sure that the decimal point lines up. And now what we're going to do is find the difference. We're going to subtract. And it does matter which number we put on top. And in subtraction, this first number is the one that we always put on top. Now I'm going to change. Sorry. So we have 8.5549. I'm going to line up the decimal. Sometimes I put it in ahead of time. 482. And I like to sometimes put that placeholder so I know I get it right. And then we just subtract. 9 minus 0 is 9. 4 minus 2 is 2. 5 minus 8. Oh, I can't do that. So I can go next door and borrow 10 more. So now I have 15. I'll put my decimal there. Sometimes I like to keep it straight. 15 minus 8 would be 7. The decimal should probably be down here. I'm going to do some erasing. And then 7 minus 4 is 3. Boy, that was really... Let me see here if I can figure out where my eraser is. I think that's it. There, that looks much better. Okay, my last slide. I have 49 and 1/10, and I'm going to subtract, let's see here, 983 thousandths. And one thing I noticed is that's almost 1. So in my head, I'm already thinking 49 minus 1. My answer is going to be about 48. So I'm going to start lining them up and get ready to do my subtraction. So I'm at 49 and 1/10. I'm going to subtract. Got to keep that decimal point in place because this one looks a little different. So we have a 0. This is a 9, 8, and a 3. Gonna put some placeholders for my zeros. Just having a 0 there means the same thing. As a reminder, 1/10 is the same as 100 thousandths. So they are both equal. So we can do this subtraction. So we're gonna look here, and I have a 0 minus 3, and I can't do that. So I'm gonna have to go next door and borrow 10 more. But it just has 0, so I can't do that. So I could come over here to the 1, and I could borrow that 1. Okay, and I'm going to leave a 0 and give that one 10. But then I need to borrow one of those, and then I can give this one 10. So this is a 10. Sometimes I write it above it. So 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 8 is 1. 0 minus 9. Oh, I can't do that. I have to go next door and get 10 more. We're regrouping. Okay, so that's why that became 8. There's 10. So now I can subtract 10 minus 9, and I will get 1. Here's where my decimal is. And then I have 8 minus 0 is 8. And then I have 4 minus nothing is 4. So my final answer is 48 and a little bit more, which that answer makes sense. So now you know how to add and subtract big numbers, multi-digit numbers with decimals. From here, you can start your math market lesson, which is linked on Canvas.